When family secrets and misunderstandings lead to a shattered heirloom, the truth about an inheritance unveils deep-seated resentments, prompting a journey of reconciliation and truth. I've always been the kind of person who tries to make everyone feel welcome as soon as they walk through my door. My family and friends say I'm warm and dependable, always ready with a comforting smile and a listening ear. My home is my sanctuary, filled with memories in every corner, from photographs to cozy throws and carefully chosen decorations. Each piece has a story, but none as special as the delicate porcelain vase in the living room, an heirloom from my late mother. However, whenever my sister-in-law Marcy visits, the air in my home changes. She often remarks on the somber wall colors or the pretentious antique furniture. Even the family photos aren't spared her scrutiny, as she suggests they somehow exclude certain family members. Her comments cut sharply, leaving a tension that hangs in the air long after she leaves. One afternoon, my phone rang. It was Marcy, sounding more frazzled than usual. "Elaine, I'm really stuck here. Could you watch Tommy for a few hours today?" I didn't hesitate to say yes. No matter how critical Marcy might be, I could never turn away a family in need. Tommy, an energetic 8-year-old with a keen sense of observation, seemed to have absorbed his mother's critical eye. As we toured the house, I noticed his gaze linger on many of my beloved items, but he was particularly fixated on the porcelain vase. Sensing his curiosity, I reminded him gently, "We mustn't touch that, Tommy. It's very special and very old." Unbeknownst to me, Marcy's criticisms had sown seeds of disdain and rebellion in Tommy towards anything I held dear. As Tommy and I wandered around my house, I pointed out little pieces of history, from the framed black and white photos to the quilt my grandmother had stitched. I could see Tommy's eyes darting curiously from one object to another, his mind absorbing every detail. When we reached the living room, I paused, my hand hovering protectively near the porcelain vase. "This was my mother's," I explained softly. "It's very old and means a lot to me, so we must be careful around it." Just then, my phone rang. It was a call I needed to take, pulling my attention away for a few minutes. I asked Tommy to stay in the living room and watch TV, trusting him to heed my earlier warning. As I stepped into the next room to talk, I heard the muffled sounds of a cartoon playing. The conversation was brief, but when I returned, the room was eerily silent. The TV was off. My heart sank when I saw Tommy standing near the shelf, eyes wide, mouth slightly open. The vase was no longer on the shelf. I turned to see the fragments scattered across the carpet, the colorful pieces of my cherished heirloom lying in disarray. Tommy's voice was steady, almost defiant, as he looked up at me. "It doesn't belong to you anyway. We know your secret." His words hit me like a cold splash of water, leaving me stunned and speechless. I couldn't understand, where had he heard such a thing? What did he mean? My confusion mingled with the sharp sting of betrayal and loss. How could this little boy, influenced by whatever stories had been told, feel justified in destroying something so precious? As I attempted to calm my rattled nerves, I heard footsteps approaching rapidly from the hallway. It was Derek, my brother, or at least that's what I had always considered him. Though not related by blood, our parents' marriage had blended our lives so closely that the bond felt just as deep. Derek had a way of bringing calm to chaos, and right now, I needed that more than ever. His sudden appearance was unexpected but not unwelcome, especially in a moment as fraught as this. "What happened here?" Derek's voice broke through the tense silence. I explained quickly, my words tumbling out as I pointed to the shattered pieces on the floor. Derek turned to Tommy, his tone was serious but calm. "Tommy, why did you do this? What did you mean by your words to Elaine?" Tommy shuffled his feet, his earlier confidence wavering under Derek's steady gaze. "Mom said. She said that Aunt Elaine shouldn't have this house. That she tricked Grandma." Derek's face hardened as he began to understand the deeper rift Marcy's words had caused. "That's not true, Tommy. There's been a big misunderstanding." He looked at me, sadness flickering in his eyes, signaling the beginning of a difficult conversation. Derek explains the misunderstanding to before long, Marcy arrived, her face tense with worry. The room was thick with unease as she stepped over to the broken vase, her expression softening slightly at the sight. Derek didn't waste a moment. "Marcy, we need to talk about what you've told Tommy, and what you believe about Elaine." As we sat down, I took a deep breath and began to unravel the years of miscommunication and secret resentments. I explained the history of the house and the inheritance. "Marcy, Derek and I are not full siblings. My mother passed away first, and then my father remarried Derek's mother. When my father died, he left the house to me. I've always seen Derek's mom as my own and cared for her deeply in her last years." Marcy's eyes widened, her previous certainty crumbling. I didn't know that. I thought." She trailed off, unable to continue, her misconceptions laid bare. Marcy's eyes were filled with tears as she turned to me, her voice trembling with sincerity. "Elaine, I am so sorry. I let my assumptions cloud my judgment." The room was heavy with her remorse, which seemed to echo around us. Derek, sitting beside her, was quiet, his expression one of shock and contemplation as he processed not only the day's events but also the revelations about our family's history and his own biological father. Tommy looked between the adults, his earlier defiance replaced by confusion and regret. To mend the broken ties, we decided on a plan that would involve everyone, especially Tommy. We agreed to commission a new vase, similar to the one that was broken. I wanted Tommy to be a part of the process. I took a stranger on my road trip, only to uncover I was part of his plan. My Dill crashed my car after taking it without permission. She refused to pay for repairs, but karma stepped in. We were left without electricity after the hurricane. How my husband acted made me question our entire marriage. He needed to understand the value of each item in our home and learn the importance of care and responsibility. Marcy promised to help correct the misconception she had instilled in Tommy, ensuring he understood the true nature of our family dynamics. Meanwhile, Derek and I spent time looking through old family albums and documents, piecing together the narrative of our blended family. It was a chance for both of us to delve into our past, strengthen our bond, and understand our roots more clearly. Reflecting on everything that happened, I realized how crucial it is to base our actions and feelings on facts, not assumptions. The incident with the vase was a painful lesson but a necessary one. It reminded us of the importance of transparency and honesty within the family. As we each took steps toward reconciliation and understanding, I felt hopeful. Our family had faced a significant challenge, but we were moving forward together, committed to building a future based on truth and mutual respect. This work is inspired by real events and people, but it has been fictionalized for creative purposes. Names, characters, and details have been changed to protect privacy and enhance the narrative. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental and not intended by the author. The author and publisher make no claims to the accuracy of events or the portrayal of characters and are not liable for any misinterpretation. This story is provided as is, and any opinions expressed are those of the characters and do not reflect the views of the author or publisher.